Before we jump in, something pretty cool. If you saw the video, I had early access to Jean Grey and made a full overview with zero official information, but everything I said about her damage numbers and interactions, all of it was spot on, so that feels good. But there's some more things to talk about. Her kit really is special. She can do some really cool things. Her ultimate has a solid place in fights, and there's some tech that you absolutely need to know if you want to dominate with her. Let's start with her primary attack, Cosmic Flames. Keep in mind that all of her damage has a 10% damage boost because she's the anchor of the Wolverine team-up. Cosmic Flames deals 55 damage to the body, 110 to the head. That's including the boost. It's actually a close range attack. It deals max damage 10 meters and in, and then it drops off, going down to 60% damage by the time you reach 30 meters. You're going to be shooting from all sorts of distances, but even at 30 meters or more, it still deals great damage because of the rest of her kit. The entirety of her kit revolves around the sparks. Every enemy hit gets 1 spark. If you land a critical hit, that enemy gets 2 sparks. When the enemy reaches 3 total, Phoenix triggers a fiery explosion that deals 44 damage to that enemy and applies 1 spark to any enemy around them in a 4-meter radius. And the explosion to those surrounding enemies is only 13, but they also get a spark added to them. The explosions can't stack too quickly on the same target, so the sparks from explosions won't keep just piling up non-stop, but they do chain. At close range, 10 meters and in, Jean Grey can 2-shot heroes with 250 health, but at longer ranges, a couple things to consider. It can take as little as 3 shots on lower health targets, because if you land back-to-back headshots, the sparks carry over. So if you land a headshot, land another, you get an explosion, and then it fills up the bar once, get another headshot, it fills up the bar again. And because the spark explosions have no damage fall off, that's what makes her still really good at range. It means there's extra incentive to keep landing precision headshots. Every time you trigger a spark explosion, you get self-healing, 10 health a second for 4 seconds. And the healing duration stacks, so if you trigger, let's say, 5 explosions back to back to back, you're going to be healing for a full 20 seconds straight. No matter where you are in your 4-second cooldown, you can keep adding to it if you get an explosion. And it sounds small, 10 healing a second, but this healing helps you mitigate chip damage from a distance, and it acts as a buffer for your team's actual strategists. Like, for example, Jeff, he heals 130 health per second. So having the self-heal, whatever is healing you, whatever strategist is healing you, you're adding in the 10 health a second. So it's even more sustained, keeps you in the fight longer, and heals you up faster. It's a good thing. Now, let's talk about Dark Ascent, her movement ability. It's tied to an energy meter. This is your E ability. When you activate it, Jean Grey enters a state of free flight, getting a 50% movement speed boost and replenishes 4 ammo a second, so it reloads very quickly. Its max energy is 1200, it drains at 400 per second, and recovers 120 energy a second. So it's excellent for repositioning, chasing, escaping, getting to high ground, avoiding ultimates, the list goes on. Other heroes have something similar, like Human Torch, but with Jean Grey Dark Ascent, in your settings under hero-specific controls, select Jean Grey Phoenix, and check the box for Hold to activate Dark Ascent. This lets you hold down the button to stay in flight. It also allows you to tap it for quick bursts. So pressing it over and over sends her in and out of flight quickly, which leads directly into melee combos. Speaking of the melee, her melee attacks aren't specified, but they're a huge part of her kit. Every melee that you land applies a spark, because Phoenix is the one doing the melees. Each melee hit deals 38 damage, so if you land 3 straight melee combos, adding in the explosion, the 3 melee damage combo is 158 damage, and that's higher than some melee heavy heroes like Thor. There's 2 important things about this melee. First, if you mash the melee button repeatedly, the melee attacks come out much faster when you do this. So this is something just to do. Don't ever just hold the melee button or click it, just mash it. That way it has a little cancel to it. But the second way, you could use the Dark Ascent to cancel the melee animation, and this chains attacks even faster.
You are nothing! Disappear!
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
The easiest way I found is to just hold the melee button and then mash Dark Ascent. So again, this causes Jean Grey to spin into melee attacks quickly, and you're constantly canceling it. So she'll melee, you'll cancel, melee, cancel. You can also try alternating melee, Dark Ascent, over and over. Just find out whatever you're most comfortable with, because you need to know it. Either way, the melee spam or the melee cancel combo should absolutely be a part of your gameplay. Because one of the things you could do is maybe do 3 quick with the Dark Ascent cancel, and then ground yourself and make sure that you can get off melees. Just do 3 quick wins by spamming, but it lets you freely attack up close if you need to, or back enemy vanguards off, or whatever you need. It's a lot of pressure. And another thing you can do, especially when you're doing the Dark Ascent cancel, is circle around them. That's another really cool thing. It's really hard to hit Jean Grey when you're doing this, when she's doing this around you. So again, practice it, get comfortable with it. You're going to use it constantly as the situations come up. A right click is Telekinetic Burst. It's a hit scan ability that marks an area with psionic energy and triggers a series of fiery explosions. The first blast stuns enemies, the next two applies a slow effect. Each hit applies 1 spark, and the whole ability has a 10-second cooldown. Each of these explosions that come up, there's 3 of them, each deal 22 damage. Sometimes only one's going to hit depending on enemy movement, sometimes all 3 are going to hit. When cast, the first one stuns, so you can interrupt ultimates like Doctor Strange, or just any ultimate that has a wind up. It also stuns abilities that heroes have. The next 2 explosions slow enemies by 30% for 2 seconds. And you can cast this thing on the ground in front of enemies, wherever you do. Wherever you're aiming, the first one's going to drop, that's the stun. The next 2 are right in line after, those are the slow. Or if you directly hit an enemy, when you hit them with it, the first explosion lands at their feet, so that's a stun, and then behind them, the next 2 explode. So it's great against groups because each explosion leaves sparks around. If you hit multiple enemies, you'll likely trigger several spark explosions, and it starts to spread like wildfire, and then you just follow up with your primary. And it's especially strong for hitting enemy frontline. So you drop it right on the vanguard, that stuns them, but the other 2 go behind them, so that catches the enemy duelists and strategists that are behind. And this can secure 3 sparks, or you can have your primary do the rest. And again, remember, every spark explosion gives you health regeneration, so just all of it adds to your survivability. Your shift is Telepathic Illusion. When you use it, you leave behind an illusion and instantly teleport in any direction that you choose. The illusion detonates on enemies, applying 1 spark. It's got a 12-second cooldown. Your teleport range, the dash, is 8 meters in any direction. Diagonal, left, right, forward, wherever you want. But wherever you started, the illusion is left there. It has a 3-meter spell field. When it hits an enemy, it deals 55 damage with no damage drop-off in that area. They can be the max 3 meters away, it still deals 55. If they get hit by it, it also applies a spark. You're going to use this ability a lot defensively. Say you're getting rushed, you can just straight back, that way they run into it. It applies a spark, you can keep going with your primary, get off an explosion, get health regen, or you can use it aggressively. Maybe there's a big team fight, you can kind of walk in the middle, drop the illusion down, kind of blink out, and you detonate that illusion in the middle of a whole bunch of enemies, and start using your primary. It's a very versatile tool, and it's hard to punish that. Jean Grey's team-ups with Wolverine, it got a recent nerf. During early access, it was super strong, and in the early days of Season 3. The Berserker Claw damage was reduced to 8. Importantly, the lifesteal gained during this team-up dropped from 33% to 25%, and that's a whole separate video topic, but he's still worth using. It's still very, very strong. Finally, her ultimate, In-Song Inferno. Your Q. You soar into the sky with the Phoenix, crash down on a selected area, dealing devastating damage while creating a shockwave that destroys enemy summons, shields, and any bonus health. Enemies hit by the ultimate get applied with 1 spark. So when you activate it, Jean Grey flies up, leaving a Phoenix symbol on the ground from where she launched from. That's your return spot. The enemy knows exactly where you're coming back. You go down to your landing spot. It deals 154 damage in a 10-meter radius from where you land. Then a shockwave expands 40 meters in every direction, dealing 55 damage to enemies caught in it. This is the shockwave that destroys enemy summons, the shields, the bonus health. So both the initial impact and the shockwave can apply some sparks. This ultimate is a great counter to specific enemy team comp. It can wipe out Rocket's ult, it can break Groot walls, destroy Penny Nest, just generally shut down front lines. And after the ultimate finishes and you return to your launch spot, you get healed for 250 health. So even if you're at 1 HP, you go up into the air, you use your ultimate, when you come back, you're going to be at full or near full health. So it can be used as a reset to stay alive in fights, or to kind of stall. It's excellent against grouped enemies because it delivers this wide area damage, leaves sparks to ignite later. That way when you get out of your ult, you can start igniting them. It takes out multiple enemy summons. When it works as intended, it's incredible. There's nothing like going in, taking out a Rocket ult and Groot walls and a Penny Nest all at the same time, and then your team can actually push up. So it does have a place. It's a pretty good ultimate when used right. Playing Jean Grey is all about being smart, aggressive, unpredictable. You do want to use her mobility and sparks to kind of control fights the best that you can, stay elusive. All of this keeps pressure on your opponents. That's what she is, constant pressure, pressure, pressure. She's a poke artist. That's what you're doing every fight, poking with the cosmic flames at mid-range, applying sparks, build up the explosions, get health regen. Land headshots the best that you can. This accelerates your spark stacks. You start pairing on the right click. Use that for groups. Or maybe a couple enemies have stacks, throw it in there. That way you can start setting off a chain reaction. When you get up close or they get close, don't just blindly melee. Use the melee combos that we talked about aggressively, either by the melee mash or using that cancel. Again, it's really hard for enemies to deal with, and I prefer to circle around the target when I can. It makes you slippery, it makes you very hard to deal with in close quarters. For movement, the Dark Ascent, use it smartly to reposition yourself. You can chase down low health targets, you can escape to get high ground, you can escape, get out of the way of ultimates, grab high ground for better angles, which by the way, she is great at high ground or at ground level. It's personal preference, but remember, if you go high ground, you're asking for counters. You're asking for a Spider-Man, a Black Panther, an Iron Fist to come find you. Now, she does have defensive capabilities with that illusion dash. She's good at creating space, so you can deal with them. And remember, again, to enable the hold to activate in your settings. That way you can tap for quick bursts, hold for longer flight, and it also unlocks the melee cancel. The Telekinetic Burst, we'll come back to that. You want to use this on crowds or anytime you see enemies that are close together that have stacks. You don't really want to start stacks with it. It's more of a finisher or a starter if there's a ton of grouped enemies. Back to that illusion, your dash, it's your go-to for both offense and defense because you're going to use it, again, to create space when you're under pressure, or you're going to dash and use it kind of like a mine. Dash into a fight, explode it in the middle, get away, and hit them again and again with your primary. And finally, don't be afraid to use your ultimate. This is one thing I've noticed with Jean Grey. I mean, there's no perfect time. There can be, like if you know that a rocket ult is up, or you know that Penny has her nest up and is in her ultimate. Yeah, you can use it. But the main thing about Jean Grey's ultimate, it's an irritation to the enemy, no matter what, because they're gonna get chipped. Anything that revolves bonus health or shields, it's all gone. It deals really good damage where you land. Again, it destroys the summons, the shields. It chips everything. And when you get back to your launch spot, you're pretty much at full health. You've created sparks on everything that you hit. So you're diving in, creating chaos, coming out healthy, try to get cleanups with your primary. It's also really good for your team to follow up on because everybody gets chipped. The enemy strategist can only do so much, so it is a good time to push when Jean Grey uses her ult. Ultimately, she plays like Hela. She rewards patience, precision, and creativity. The better you get at the chaining sparks, using the melee cancels, mastering her mobility, the more deadly she becomes. So practice those combos, your positioning, and you can control the battlefield to the best of your ability. And while she does play like Hela, she also kind of plays like Moon Knight. It's good against grouped enemies, but Jean Grey can actually counter instant down flyers. She's versatile. If all else fails, just like Hela though, hit everything that you see as much as possible, headshot or not. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button, and if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. Let's talk about Jean Grey down below. As always, add any tips that you have, help each other out. Let's talk about it. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.